Yes. Whoa. Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Oh my gosh, of Mod Guide. What the heck is this thing, Dave?
Isn't it great?
What?
It's an elite ender pearl. It's the most elite ender pearl.
Lets you fly. Woot. Yeah, literally. This is crazy.
We're having fun between cuts.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. We're actually back. We got the same setup going, and Dave's has been blowing my mind, melting my brain, as it were, on some of the great things that we can do in combination with, let's say, RF tools and actually additions and et cetera, et cetera.
And do not look directly into the lasers. I'm blind.
My first question that I was going to ask when you set that up is it going to take my head off if I walk through it? But then you immediately walk through it, so.
Yeah, you do the limbo. And then you only need sight in one eye to be really effective. So you're
good. Okay. So, Mr. Dave, what kind of tricks do you have up your sleeve for this particular session? What are you thinking?
Well, so I thought we would go with the next piece because people are going to say, right? I know they're going to watch it. They'll be like, oh, but guys, auto crafting. And it's true, right? Auto crafting is great.
Sure. It is a time saver.
Oh, it's a huge time saver. So why don't we do that next?
Okay. Let's kick off.
I'm just going to break this. We don't need it right now.
Sure.
As much fun as that laser is.
Lasers.
All you. All right. So let's say we have that one more ender pearl, right?
Mm-hmm.
You resist the urge to throw it or to turn it into an elite ender pearl and ride it around like a horse. What we're going to do is use RF tools control. Now, I'm gonna get a program in here. This is a program that the mod author McJitty shared. It's a program that you can customize, and we will, but it is a pretty cool program. So you'll see exactly. I'm gonna put down this programmer, pretty cheap block. You can show them the recipe.
Yeah.
This doesn't need power, and it can be way over here. It can be anywhere we want. It's all good, right? But the real gem is the processor, and the processor is.
Oh yeah, the programmer is not very expensive at all.
And the processor is pretty cheap too.
Are we going with? Let's see. There are different tiers. This is just a one operation protect core.
Yeah, we'll stick with that for now, right?
Right.
Okay. So we're gonna put down the processor. Now let's say you're like, guys, I just set up your other system. I have one more ender pearl. I got to go mining soon. I don't have time to build a big crafting system. I can't build the multi-block. I'm like, no problem. What you need is one processor.
Right.
You need a program card.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to take the program card over to the programmer over here. And one sec. I have this all queued up.
Cheater.
We're going to, yeah, well, I mean, it's almost called being prepared. I'm just going to paste. Right. You can now see in the programmer, if I leave, I believe you can see that. If I save it as autocraft.
Yeah, actually, I do see. Event craft, operation, test and lock. Yeah, okay.
So the setup looks a little bit like this. We're going to take a crafting station, I guess we call it. This one right here. Again, a very cheap block. We're going to put it right here. So now we do need to make sure that we have power. That's a little bit overkill what I just did, but it's fine. This does take some power, right? And we need a couple of things here to make this work. Remember how I said you need that other ender pearl? You're going to be using it for a network card.
Okay. Network card. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Network card, one ender pearl, and a card base. Right.
Yeah. And we're going to be then making probably just one CPU. Actually, no. I would recommend putting in 3 low-tier CPU cores to start for your system. They're not very expensive. I mean, they're not the cheapest thing in the world, but you should be able to get access to Cactus Green. I'll explain why you want more than one soon, or why you'd want any at all, because you actually don't need them, but they're very, very helpful for auto crafting systems. Right. So now in the programmer here, we just say net setup, and you can type any word you want. I just say craft. I'll say I found 0 nodes and 1 crafting station.
Right.
Let's go ahead and make a workbench so that we actually can, and these again, a very cheap block. I will put this over here. This right here, this storage scanner, processor, crafting station, and workbench is sort of the tower of power, if you will. This combination of things essentially lets you build a very, very sophisticated crafting system all over your base. You can spread it out distributed fashion. Let
Really?
me show you. Yes. So the first thing that we're going to do is remember how before I gave you a storage system, it was a storage control module, one of these
Yeah.
guys, and to craft it in, we're going to take another one of those, right click it there to bind it, and then we're going to put it as a peripheral in here. Now our programs have full access to every piece of stuff of junk we have inside here.
Oh,
Everything that we got in the storage system is now available to all our programs.
seriously? You just got
Yes.
that one storage control module. It does
Yep.
use some power protect, but that's not the point. You got that one storage control module. You right clicked on the storage scanner and then put it in here in one of these accessory slots for the actual processor. And that cross links all of this stuff right here that I'm standing on.
Yeah. For any number of processors, they can be as far away as you want. The storage modules have no range.
So if we still had the item interface on, let's say, on top of this, and that laser relay, all that stuff over there would be hooked up also.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. You're blowing my mind, Dave. Keep going.
Okay. So what I need to do now, like basically there's a little bit, like there's this program McJitty gave us, but we do need to customize it just a wee bit
Right.
to make sure that it knows. Because basically what we're going to do is I have to tell it where the workbench is in this system. So it needs to know, if you look at this workbench here, it's a crafting table that also has a bunch of inventory slots.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 rows.
Okay. Yeah. We will be filling those in just a sec. So all I have to do basically is just figure out, we are currently facing north. So that means that to the east is where the workbench and crafting inventory, we'll call it, is. Let me
And
just go ahead and modify the program really quick.
now you're talking in relation to the processor that this program will be running on.
Precisely.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Because
Um,
when you're looking at the actual block that you're programming it in, that's off. But you have to think where you're going to be running it as a final result.
yes.
Yeah.
I am just tweaking. This program is slightly for different parameters.
Ooh. There's so much going on there.
All right. Whew, boy. I'm really glad that I managed to fix that, Vaygrim. Can I just? I'm going to pat myself on the back because that's a really subtle bug, but I fixed it, so we're good.
It's a super esoteric bug. Probably not something I would have thought to have checked, but you have an idea now, and it's an idea that smoothly works.
Yes.
So we've been talking about storage and accessing your storage through the storage scanner remotely. Now you've got to an idea to one up that, and to one up that on a cost efficient level by boosting it with auto crafting, right?
Right. So that's what we've been saving our extra Ender Pearl for. Right?
Yeah, we made a network card that we actually have in this processor
You can
right
see that
here.
now. We put in 2 CPU cores, and I recommend 2 or 3 CPU cores. I'll just put another one right here.
Right.
And a network card. You'll need the network card, and then you type in net. If you type in help, you can see all sorts of things here. We can do net setup, and you can type anything you want. But the first time you plonk all this stuff down, you need to find the crafting station, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then
Okay. Found one crafting station. Right. Go ahead.
yeah. And then we also put in a storage control module, just like the thing we used in our storage module tablet. We link that in, and that binds the processor to anywhere in the world. That binds it to your storage scanner.
Anyway, wait a minute. There's no distance limitation on that?
Nope, there's none. So it's sort of like it's sort of like a programmable ender chest, although maybe not as easy to use.
Right. That's
All right.
okay. That's very cool.
Now let me show you one other thing here. So what we did then was we made a chest and we put a workbench. The workbench is super cheap and the chest is of course just wood. The workbench has nothing in it. And I like to keep it that way because I sort of you'll see why in a little bit, but I did that because eventually we're going to want to have lots of crafting recipes and we want to keep that flexible.
Right.
The chest, if you look in it, let me just, that's a little bit strange, but it's perfectly legal. But if you look in the chest, you'll see crafting cards. I've got a few extra with stone brick ones here. You can show them the UI for those, but you can just put anything you want. JEI integration is there. You can specify any recipe you want. So if you want to add like a wooden axe, you can go ahead and toss one of those in.
Let's see. Let's actually do. Yeah, there we go. Wooden axe. Oh gosh, I need to R. And we're actually going to, is it going to, or dictionary, the recipe? Or do I need to tell it? Let's tell it.
Yeah, in general, this system will not ordict. And you'll see that actually makes sense a little later on, but it won't. That's good. And in fact, I was sort of not a fan of refined storage going for the ordict stuff.
There we go.
Generally, it shouldn't be done.
So I've got one that's just a wooden axe. It's using some birch and some sticks. Now
Yep.
I put birch up here. You put some sticks up here also.
Yep. If you look in the crafting station, you'll see all the recipes that we've put in
Ooh,
are now
okay.
there.
Right. So we've got a wooden axe, we've got a wooden pickaxe, and we've got some stone bricks, which is very cool.
Go ahead and give them a click, my friend.
So if I click on the axe once, it says wait, okay, and there
And
is
you have an axe.
yeah, down there in the lower left hand corner. That's very cool. Quick output.
Yeah. If you hit shift, you can do more. So let's say I wanted to have 8 stone bricks. It'll make more.
That's cool. Okay. Very
Yes.
neat.
This system supports here. Let me show you. This system, let me grab a crafting card. Which, by the way, those are also really cheap. It supports recursive crafting as well. It isn't just a one-step craft. Um,
Right.
my crafting card. So, like for example, let's go ahead and tell this system how to make sticks. Right? Because if you're going to be having a system like this, like I don't know about you, but for me, crafting sticks is the bane of my existence.
Yeah, it's one of those little fiddly things you don't have to mess with on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go ahead and put sticks in here, a crafting card. And so we put all our crafting recipes in this chest. That's the storage. And let me pull the sticks out of the system. I think I have a little bit more sticks, right? There's no more sticks in the system. And if we craft a pickaxe, you can see it actually goes and makes. You can actually watch it make the steps.
Yeah, I saw the step for sticks and then the step with the pickaxe itself, which is very cool. So now you just keep the raw ingredients. If we wanted to, we could actually keep just the logs in there and have it break down from logs to wood, wood to sticks.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Now there is one caveat. The more complex the recipe, the more processor cores you need to get it. If you have more steps than you have processor cores, the system will eventually just hang. You just won't know
Right.
what to do. There's no more resources. This is not, and we just spent some time off camera debugging a little bit of a problem.
Yes.
This system is a very generic system, right? And so it does a lot of different things, like depending on how you program it. As such, sometimes you got to fiddle with it. Generally, the way that let's say that you had a craft that was broken, right? The way that
Mhm.
you would fix it is you would go and you would cancel the craft in the crafting recipe, and then
Right.
you would run down here and you would hit reset, and we reset the processor, and that will generally fix everything. Sometimes, if there's if you're running into some truly hairy things, you may need to clear out the inventory of the processor or things like that.
Yeah. So
But it's generally fine.
yeah, but I mean, my big thing is right now, this is not costing us massive amounts of nether quartz. It's not costing us a whole bunch of diamonds. This is basically like gold nuggets, cactus green, and some redstone. That's
Yes.
most of this, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it works with your existing stuff. So should we show them the program? I don't think we have yet.
Actually, yeah, let's go over here real quick. Now, this is quite a complex thing, but we can get this. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but we can get this and make a link where people can copy and paste this and import it into their game.
Yeah, we can go ahead and copy the entire thing. I'll copy it out. This is a super cheap version of a program I lifted. A really nice YouTuber, Toddy the Body, went through and put this up in Pastebin. So I've modified this to. He used a very expensive version of it. I made a very
Yes.
cheap version. The only thing that's tricky about this is that this one we made it facing north. And if you set it up exactly like this, where the storage scanners to the left, the crafting stations to the right, and the
Hmm.
chest, the inventory with the crafting recipes is on top, then this program will work. But
So
otherwise, you'll have to make it. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll modify the program for every cardinal direction,
that would be awesome if you
and
could. But I mean,
sure,
right
and then we'll
now,
put it in the description.
yeah, right now, even if we just did this version, I've got F3 up and you can see several lines down. It'll say XYZ. It says block, chunk number, whatever, whatever, out of, et cetera, et cetera. And then it says facing north towards negative Z.
Yep.
Basically, as long as you're facing north and you set this up the same kind of way, in that you actually have things placed the same way. You gotta have to have processor, chest above it, crafting station over here, workbench over here. As long as you have things oriented the same way and you have it facing the same compass direction, you can get this program and you can literally plug and play. Yes?
Yes, and it
See,
will just work, and that's cool.
yeah, that's very awesome. So we're going to make sure that Dave gets that stuff for us. Put it in the description down below in the video. We're also, and I forgot to mention this last video, we're going to make sure that we have contact links where you can go find out more about the Resident Rise community and what Dave does in this amazing, basically, pack that he has built up on. So yeah, this is going to be really cool because now you have this. Wait a minute, I got to remember the crafting station is
Mhm.
accessible from the storage scanner, right?
So that's the trade-off of this system. Without more programming and thought, you
Right.
don't get remote crafting.
Okay.
Um, so that's the big difference, I think, is so you get much cheaper and I think honestly more flexible storage access via that tablet, but you don't get crafting. McJitty has said, "I will make a remote crafting interface." He said it 3 or 4 times now, and
Okay.
I
Good.
don't think he's gotten around to it. So, that's a feature that's upcoming on the mod, I hope. In the meantime, I would say I've watched a couple of more obscure YouTubers who are doing great Minecraft work.
Right.
Some of them have come up with the most crazy things you can imagine. Someone wrote a program, this is true. They can talk in chat and name the object they want, and if the system is aware of it, it will craft it.
Seriously?
They talk to their computer in Minecraft chat.
That sounds like borderline voodoo kind of stuff. That's amazing.
It's only 2 or 3 extra blocks over here, that's the crazy part. So there's all sorts of things or people will do things like they'll have a remote inventory, and if they put a block in their chest and hit a button, then it'll craft whatever's in their inventory. There's all sorts of things you can do. Now, the other thing that's really cool, right, is that this is not it's hard to really express how generic this system is, but we can have lots of different things. So this program over here is specifically, if you take a look at it, specifically pertains to the process of crafting things on a 3 by 3 grid. But
Yes.
it's quite easy to imagine. And you notice that if you check out one of the cards that I gave you, you notice it has a lot more space for crafting than you might expect, right?
Actually, yeah, I was going to ask about that. It says regular 3 by 3 crafting recipes or more complicated recipes. What does that
Right.
mean?
So if you want to write a program to handle auto crafting of Britannia runes, no problem.
Really?
Yeah. And what's more, this is what's so cool about it. So there, if you look at here, there is a magic thing that McJitty put in the program. There is it is three. If you go from the start, the event craft, it is
Yeah.
if you go two over, it's event get ingredients smart.
Right.
What get ingredients smart does is it asks your entire crafting system, the entire thing, hey, I need the ingredients for this if it's not in your storage. Now, what that means is that let's say you've got lots of processors with lots of different recipes that all know how to do different things. It will
Oh,
figure it out. So if you're making a rune if you had a rune set up over here and you were making it and it knew that it needed to make carpet for a rune of air, it would make a crafting request. And if they're all connected via this crafting system, the crafting request will also get routed over here.
okay. I already can see a subject for a future episode in my brain that I would really love to do. Already, I'm getting ideas. That's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Um, So this is a starting point. Right now we have a setup that is remote storage. And then when I come back to my base and it's all already sorted, well, it's already stored. Everything is basically where I want it. And then I can just basically extend that to this auto crafting system right here. Now, because of the way we're doing it on a kind of a budget right now, this is I have to be here auto crafting, but it's still the fact that it's auto crafting at a very cost effective rate.
It's early game, and honestly, it extends out there. Now, I think it's perfectly fair to say that super late game with huge AE2 crafting matrices, it's a little bit more convenient, right?
Yes.
Maybe if I search, it's a little more convenient because you don't have the concept of different crafters, but at the same time, that's also really powerful because it means that you can have split systems, right? And that is also useful. But what I really want to stress, and maybe we can do another episode where we can do a couple of builds, is that this system, first of all, the only reason we put in a network card, only reason we put a network card, that one extra ender pearl, is because we wanted to interface with the crafting station.
Right.
Any processor with a network card and range of a crafting station will publish all its recipes and show all its progress there. But we
Wow.
can go beyond that, right? And
Okay.
once we go beyond that and start like messing with, for example, let's say maybe we could do another episode of some automations. For example, we could automate the actually additions planter. We could automate Botania runes. We can do all of
Ooh.
that with the processor, and it's small, it's easy, it's elegant, and it's pretty power efficient too. But the thing is that it requires someone to be comfortable coming over here and spending a little bit of time in this program.
Right.
Now, there is a copy paste function, and I don't know if you ever did you ever go to the Sci Spell Compendium Reddit?
Yes, I did. I actually got a couple of really nifty spells. That's where I got the original idea for my bounce spell.
We should do
Yeah,
that for there isn't one for this yet, but we totally should.
I honestly, a lot of the stuff in the Psi spell compendium that it's reddit.com/r/ I think it's Psi spell compendium is the whole
Yeah, it's
thing.
all just yeah.
Yeah, all run together. And that is based since it is a subreddit, that means that things scroll off the front page very quickly. And there are some posts or links on the side that have notations or compendiums of more notable spells, but there have been some things I've seen on there that I forgot to note or save or bookmark, and I go back and I can't find it several days later.
Yeah.
I could see the value in having a better organized site that compiled those kind of things. And for
Yeah,
this
well,
as well.
and that's the best part is that I love these sorts of mods where we have a simple programming interface that we can share. And this is a real, I think, weakness of Steve's Factory Manager that I hope that the new version fixes. Is that we can share, and as a community, you, me, and anybody else, your viewers, we can all come together and we can start to say, "Yeah, I got a program for this. It's cool."
Yeah, definitely. I think that could be, I see a lot of merit in that. As you know, I cater more towards, and it's not that I am saying that everybody that watches my videos is a casual, but I am definitely a casual player myself. There's a lot of things like size. I would say the upper 50% of psi is completely lost to me because I never learned vector math and things like that when I was actually going through school as a young Vaygrimling. So there's a lot of concepts like that that are outside of my sphere of control, basically.
Fair
Um,
enough. Yeah. So, but that's again, that's the whole fun of it. And the thing is I think that once people start building them, like there's a lot you can do without like this program is complicated, and there's a couple other amazing ones. Maybe we'll do a feature on them. Like McGitty published one where he has a system that automatically scans your connected storage, your storage system,
yeah.
and it automatically blocks up metals for you. And so it keeps two stacks of ingots, two stacks of nuggets, and then the rest of it is blocked. And if you add more stuff, it'll just passively do it for you to save you space.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, it's super cool, and it just works like magic. I've already seen people automating, runes, and here's the funny part, I don't know if you watched, Direwolf 20 a while ago, he was like, "I wanna connect and do refined storage for my stuff." He ended up having to appeal to this system to make it work. This system is super powerful, so it's all the building blocks of, say, AE or RS, right?
Right.
But it's all the base components that you can freely mix and match for your own builds.
I'm seeing okay. TTFT Cuts and myself had this conversation on Forgecraft not but a week or two ago. Actually, I think it's been longer than that, but whatever. Where we saw the merits in both refined storage and AE2. AE2 has the better crafting, but refined storage had the better storage mechanics. I could see the merits of like if you have actually additions and you have like, okay, this is the small storage crate. Where's the crates? This is a large storage crate, which is not just one page, it's two, 3 pages of all those slots. This is an absurd amount of storage within a one block space.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's one of the densest for multiple types in that's ever happened in Minecraft.
I actually, I will agree with that statement because yes, there's the DSU, but that is a mono storage medium.
Yeah.
It's one block basically. And with this I think is the largest combination unit. Yeah, quantum storage. Quantum storage is a single block type, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with these large storage crates, and these things are not that expensive. They're using some wait a minute, empowered void crystal blocks.
Yeah.
I'm not
You gotta
sure.
hop in the you gotta hop on the Empowerer, and you gotta hop on the, Actually Editions,
Oh,
was it
okay.
Atomic Reconstructor?
Yeah, atomic reconstructor. That starts from coal. That's easy. That's
Yeah.
power and time. Psh.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, these are not terribly complex. These are not horrible. I mean, they are kind of complex, but they're not completely out of reach, like requiring nether stars or tons of diamonds or whatever. I could see a combination storage of these smalls, some mediums, a couple of larges, and basically because of, and you had this system again, these item laser relays,
Yep.
you could literally hide this in the basement and just
Mhm.
have the control head and an item interface up here.
Yeah, that's the cool part is that, it doesn't take the storage away from you, so you can make builds. So if you're a tryhard, you can do some stuff.
Yeah.
I love these crates, by the way. Like, you can do, like, stuff like this, upgrade that. We can do stuff like this, upgrade Insight 2,
Wait a
right?
minute.
Like,
You're upgrading those in place? I didn't know that was a thing. Oh
yeah, it's
my
a thing.
oh my gosh. Okay, storage crate keeper. Oh, that actually means the storage stays intact when you break it?
Yeah, so you could let's grab one. Let's grab this one over here. I'll grab a keeper.
Okay, chest to
So yeah,
storage, yeah. Small to medium, medium to large. Wow, okay.
I'll do it with this large one over here, and you can just let me just toss some junk out of my inventory, right? If we then go through and oh,
We're in
if we
creative.
then go through, yeah, and you're not in creative, yeah, and I don't know, let's put some junk in there.
I have an axe,
No need. See, put it back down over here.
and it's still got all
All
the
this
stuff
stuff.
in it. That's amazing. So yeah, I could see, and you know me, I'm a builder. I'm all about being able to hide stuff in the basement to keep the house pretty if we need to. Um, yeah, I could really see you've got an auto crafting system. Now, okay, here's my question. You've upgraded this chest to a small storage crate. Does that mean now we have more space for more crafting cards?
Yeah, and in fact, actually, Editions is quite popular to mix with RF tools now because the item lasers mean you get an extensible storage. So one of the big problems you'll have, a lot of builds, if you look over in the workbench, they put the recipes in the lower part of the workbench. And if you're being thrifty on space, fair game. But it's not that many, right? Like, you could imagine just building the basic tools and planks, things like that. You'll run out of that space fast.
Yes.
Now we can use that item interface trick as the storage. Here, you know what? Let's just do it. Stand by, and then we'll get an interface. Okay, like so. This is funny. All right. Let me grab these out. Put them over. I'll just put them over in here in this item laser network. Boop, boop, boop. And we'll put down the interface over here. This is why people like to mix it like this.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You are going
Yeah.
to extend to where basically all of these chests, once they're linked up, all of these will be basically the crafting storage array.
Yep. So you can have an extensible number of things. Let's make sure that. Yep. And you can see the recipes are still available in here.
This is, again, this is simple things to snap together to create mind-blowing combinations of stuff. So yeah, I can still see there's sticks, stone bricks, wooden axes, and wooden pickaxes. That's very cool.
And all still works. Yeah. So one of the things I think is really cool about 110, there are many, there's many changes that 110 has caused, but probably the coolest thing to me is the end of the era of the buildcraft pipes.
Yes. Oh gosh,
Increasingly,
yes.
we're not seeing those now. Ender IO is still around, right? But it doesn't. Item conduits are only for when you want to do the densest build possible. But like increasingly, you're like, no, I think I would rather use these item lasers because then I can spread things out. I can make things look pretty. Honestly, having the laser itself is pretty cool, although it's awkward and cool. It makes you think about things differently.
I I
Um,
I could
yeah.
actually see if you placed those right. Do those item lasers go on their sides?
Yeah.
Do we know? They will? They'll place on the side of a block?
Oh, absolutely. They'll face on the bottom too.
Okay,
Here, I'll
so
show you.
I could already see getting those things and placing them in such a way to where you could use the lasers to accent existing like roof lines inside of a building
Oh
to
yeah.
you could kind of use them as decoration as well as functionality.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and we can even do that. So like all these things are big changes, right? And they
Yeah.
mean that we have a lot of options for how we can do builds that are very different. So like the processor changes the way we think about automation and setting things out. The item lasers move power around in items and fluids too in a very, very funny way. There's just a lot of changes to the way we do everything.
Now,
It's cool.
okay, we are 2 episodes in on a series of mod guides about amazing mod combos with KirinDave. If you guys are coming up with really interesting designs or interesting ideas that you could see for maybe specific tasks, or if you have a question about Do you think that you could actually solve this problem with this kind of setup? Please say so in the comments below. I would love to hear some feedback from you folks on what you think about all this so far. I'm definitely interested because I'm getting my brain melted every 5 minutes by Dave right now, and I think it's actually very neat some of the things that you can do with this. So yeah, um, Dave, I actually do think this is going to be a good stopping point for part two.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think we've loaded off enough information. Now, don't forget, folks, there's going to be a whole bunch of information in the down below the description area. Make sure to check that out. There's going to be links to the Resonant Rise community and all those guys' hard work, and various other links to stuff like this program that Dave's actually going to offer us, which I'm very grateful for because I already am seeing uses for future Let's Plays in the very near future that I can use this for. So big thanks to you, Dave. Yeah. What am I? Oh, yeah. Standing on a quantum storage. I forgot I was
Don't
standing.
fall in. Don't fall in. There's only one Vaygrim, so we don't need a quantum storage for that.
I was about to say, if I get stuck in this thing, can you get me out? Or
I'm not sure.
okay. I really do appreciate, Dave, I know you're a busy guy. I really do appreciate you setting up aside time in your schedule to spend some time with me and show me some of this stuff. I'm learning a lot, and I can't wait to learn more. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It was very fun working with you.
Definitely. Folks, I'm thinking there's probably going to be some big tricks in store in a part 3. Keep your eyes peeled. And until then, thank you very much, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye.